Good morning, Pederscopers. We are live here on the Pederscope. Thanks for joining me. You guys ready to get down, get funky today, and be fabulous? Boy, I'm ready to. It feels good to move around, doesn't it? Wherever you're at, if you're in your car, you're in your room, you're in your office, you're on a train, you're on a plane, just want you to go ahead and feel free to move around, kind of move your shoulders a little bit. It's all right. You can dance, you can move. We're getting a little exercise today on the Pederscope, working it out. All right. Well, I hope you're feeling wonderful and feeling fabulous today. This is the Pederscope. I'm your host, Steve Pederson. It's great to have you on board. We are talking about keys to being the difference. And today is no different. We are being the difference today. Today is episode number 19, and the title of today is simply exercise. Now, if you'll notice, I put an exclamation point in the title after exercise because sometimes, when we think about exercise, we're like, I gotta exercise. Yeah, we get to exercise. So I put an exclamation point there to kind of get us all excited about it. Thank you for joining me on the Pederscope today. Would love to hear your comments and your feedback. Would love to connect with you. So go ahead and do that. Feel free. All this week, we've been talking about energy. And how everything is energy, and energy is everything. And of course, we've been talking about all these huge, important factors on what contributes to or maybe detracts from your energy. Yesterday, we talked about eating right, eating for energy. And the challenge I threw out there was to write down what you ate yesterday. And I'm just curious if you guys took that challenge or not and what you thought about it. This is my Hogwarts journal. And I wrote down everything that I ate yesterday. And I will say that the great thing about that exercise is that it just created an awareness. Like I was constantly thinking, like I would go to eat something, then I would think, okay, I'm going to write this down later. Is this something that I want to write down? And it just created this awareness about what I was putting into my body. So I found it super helpful. I didn't make any huge diet changes or anything like that. I just became much more aware of what I was putting into my body. Very helpful stuff. Now, like I said, today we're talking about exercise, and this is particularly important as you approach age 30. Now, of course, I'm well beyond that age because at around age 30, your metabolism, that's not the only thing that slows down. Our speech starts to slow down. Your metabolism starts to slow down naturally at around age 30. And I'm going to share a funny little story here. When I was a young man, I got lots and lots of exercise. And no, it's not because I was a fitness nut or a fitness guru, but because I was broke and I had to walk everywhere. Since I would go several places in a day, I was actually usually carrying a couple of different backpacks, at one time, a guitar. And this was back before I had a guitar backpack, so I would carry a big, heavy, wooden case around with me. And then I also worked at Starbucks, and so if I worked at, the later shift, I would also be carrying a bag of leftover pastries that we had to toss, and so I would carry them. I remember one time going to a church meeting after work, and I'm walking, from one place to the next, with a change of clothes. I had a bunch of books with me, a backpack full of books, my guitar, a bag full of pastries, and man, I got some exercise, and that was a daily thing. So the major contrast, though, was when I turned 30, I went from walking and taking trains and working a job where I was on my feet all day to, and also not eating very much. I didn't eat very much. I got married, settled down, started eating really well. The wife started saying, "Hey, we're gonna help you to eat better here." So I started eating really well. I got a different job. I started driving to a job where I would actually just sit at a desk all day. And within the first 6 months, I literally gained 30 pounds. Probably mainly because I was so starved, but a lot of that had to do with my metabolism was slowing down. I wasn't moving as much. So you don't have to wait, though, until you're 30 to start getting exercise, because getting exercise is a habit, and it's a great habit to get into. It could be something as simple as walking, but what I like to do is I like to compare it to learning an instrument. I teach guitar lessons. Obviously, I play guitar. I give guitar lessons, and one of the things that I encourage, especially beginner students, to do is to not necessarily worry so much about, practicing 2 or 3 hours a day or a whole bunch of time, but to just start small. Start with like 5 minutes a day and just get into a habit of doing it daily. So exercise, a huge, huge, huge key. Obviously, when you exercise, it gives your body energy. It helps you to be more healthy. And that is naturally and obviously a huge key to being the difference. It's really hard to be the difference when you're struggling physically, or the other multiple things that can lead to. Obviously, you can be the difference, and no matter what condition you're in your life, I'm just thinking it's easier for you to be a difference when you're healthy. So that's how it can be a key. Here's an action that you can take today. Just kind of like we did yesterday with writing down what you eat. Today, I'm not asking you to commit to some huge, physical routine or regimen. Just write it down. Write down the ways that you got exercise today. Just think about it. How did I get exercise? Or maybe as you're going through, maybe keep a little journal. This is what I did today. And then write down, maybe think back into over your life and think about what are and what have been some of the funnest ways for me to get exercise. Because exercise doesn't need to be a laborious chore that we feel like we have to do and we feel guilty if we're not doing it. Exercise can be a really, really fun thing. So think about, just write it down. That's all I'm asking you to do today, is to just create an awareness of the exercise that you are getting. Create an awareness. Write down, what kind of exercise would you like to be getting? Think about, this is my ideal situation right here. Ideally, I would go to the gym 3 times a week. This is my ideal weight. This is, these kinds of things. Just write them down. Kind of a dream. This is the dream aspect of it. And just envision it. Think about it. Get your mind and your subconscious mind processing and get the train rolling here. This idea of exercise. If you don't exercise at all, you don't feel bad about it. Don't let exercise, don't create a negative energy around the idea of exercise. If you feel like, oh, I should be, see, that's one of the things I try to knock out of my vocabulary, is this word should. If you feel like you should be getting exercise, that's the wrong energy to be in. You want to be in an energy where, like, hey, I've got an opportunity to get more exercise, and wouldn't that be awesome to take advantage of that opportunity? So think of getting, looks like Jane just joined us. Thanks for joining us, Jane. Thanks for joining us on the Pederscope. We're talking about exercise and how exercise is one of the keys, and thanks for the love, keys to being the difference. So the encouragement today is to just be aware of it and have positive energy around the idea of getting exercise, okay? So that's it for today, guys. This is the Pederscope. We are here I am here every weekday morning. Next week, I'll be bringing you the Pederscope live from San Diego, and I'm super fired up about that. But I'm here at 8:35 a.m. Central Time every weekday morning to bring you more keys to being the difference and to just dance like a goofy person in front of you. You know, kind of just letting it hanging out, letting my freak flag fly. I want to give a shout out to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Go Minnesota, my alma mater. Listen, if you want to catch up on past Pederscopes, you can go to my website, which is stevepederson.com. That's right, it's stevepederson.com for all the previous episodes of the Pederscope. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful and fabulous day. Love you guys. Peace.